They fenced the common land like they fenced in your heart. This is a world of fences, of boundaries and lies to keep us apart, to keep us from learning and growing together, to keep us from growing stronger. Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready? Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready? Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready?
Chilwell Depot used to be a munitions factory, and it's been one since the First World War. I think it produced 10,000 shells during the First World War. After the war, and up until very recently, it was providing vehicle maintenance mostly for all three services. In the late 70s, the Ministry of Defence announced that they wouldn't need Chilwell Depot anymore, and a lot of all the military staff were moved on. A lot of civilian jobs were lost, and they told the local council that the land there, much of the land there, would be available for their use. The council then drew up a development plan after a certain amount of consultation with local people, and decided that they wanted to use that land for building council houses, residential housing. It was after that that the Ministry of Defence, the CND heard rumours that the Ministry of Defence were considering changing their minds and in fact handing the base over to the Americans to turn into a US base. CND made their allegations about a US takeover in November of 1983, and a series of questions were asked in Parliament, a series of letters were written. Our allegations about a US takeover were consistently met by denials and no comments. Michael Heseltine himself went on record as saying that he was astounded to hear the rumours about a possible American interest in Chilwell Depot. And it was only 2 weeks later that his own ministry announced the deal. So I think they've always been trying to hide from people who live there exactly what their intentions are. Our allegation that a takeover was going to happen has been proved to be correct. What we're now alleging is that we know in detail what they're going to be doing with that base. Again, there's been official disinformation about the role of the base. They've been keen to try and impress on local people that it's only going to be a very minor facility, that there's only going to be 6 personnel, American personnel based there, and that basically it's nothing to worry about, there's not going to be any cruise missiles. That's been their line. What we've been saying is that it doesn't matter whether there's cruise missiles or not, it's still an American base. No matter what its role is, it is implicitly involved in the American nuclear warfighting build-up. However, we have heard from what I would describe an inside source that the base is going to be a major facility housing 1,500 military vehicles. These are going to be what they call a rapid response force, and in times of international tension they would be rushed out through Britain and dispersed also to West Germany. We don't know exactly what the vehicles are going to be. But again, the Ministry of Defence, rather than confirm or deny, have been playing down our allegations. They've never denied that there are going to be 1,500 vehicles, but they keep saying, oh, it's only going to be a minor base, it's only going to be a minor base. I think this allegation will be proved to be correct, just like the original allegation about the American takeover was proved to be correct. Chilwell is ideal for the military. In terms of geography, it's dead centre in the country. It's only 2 miles from junction 25 of the M1. It has a rail link that goes straight from the main London line right into the base itself. It has 12 miles of underground tunnels, which are obviously very useful for keeping vehicles that might cause upset out of sight and out of mind. The thing to remember is that that NATO generally is involved in a whole range of escalating their military capability, and that any escalation in, say, cruise missiles needs escalation in support vehicles, escalation in planes or in bombers or in sea-launched missiles or in intelligence gathering. Any of those things has a knock-on effect, which leads to a militarization of the whole country, if you like. The Reclaim Chilwell group came together in early 1984, January, February time, specifically to plan for and prepare a mass direct action in the summer at Chilwell. It's, if you like, a subgroup, an organising committee within CND. It works independently, but alongside the mainstream local peace movement. And all of the people who are involved in Reclaim Chilwell are people who are in Nottingham CND or Nottingham Women for Peace. Most of those people are peace activists who'd become involved in non-violent direct action over the previous 12 months or so. But these were very small-scale actions, and I think although they were all very successful, we came away at the end of them as individuals feeling that the next step for us was to make non-violent direct action a mass experience. And so it was partly in response to that NVDA, civil disobedience, had much more meaning if it involved hundreds or thousands of people than if it involved a small clique of 16 people operating in secret. And also because Chilwell seemed to us to be very significant, that Greenham Common was getting a lot of publicity, that Fast Lane was getting a lot of publicity, but there was a whole other side of NATO's escalation that wasn't getting any attention. And that was a very sort of ordinary looking, at the bottom of your road, at the end of your garden, innocent looking build-up, which nobody really worried about. And Chilwell was typical of that in a sense. And also because it is the first of these 64 new bases that could be in the pipeline now. And so it seemed like a national issue. There are already 135 bases in this country. That's 135 too many. We got to stop the escalation, and we're going to start stopping it now and here. And if we can stop Chilwell, then other towns can stop their bases, and other people using the model that we've adopted for this campaign can mount a campaign in their areas as well. It seemed like quite well, not a unique thing because it happened before at Kinder Scout, but it was a new idea to simply trespass and reclaim the land for human need. What human beings need, what local people need in this town is homes and jobs and services. What they definitely do not need is another American base. By actually getting onto that base ourselves and perhaps planting trees or having picnics or doing whatever we wanted, it was symbolically, but also in a very direct way, reclaiming it for ourselves.
Okay, you are under arrest. You are under arrest. Do not struggle. Do not move. All right, hold them. That's right, take them to the van. Can you warn her she moves?
Are you going to come?
You're both under arrest.
You're going to walk?
Can you take this one here?
Come on.
Do not move from the van. Just drag him away. Sorry, drag her away. Go on.
I'm warning you, if you don't move now, you will be
Si, just take her away. Go on. I've had enough of this lot today.
An affinity group is basically a small group of people who know and trust one another, who come together in order to take part in civil disobedience. And the principle behind it is that on direct actions, it's much easier to operate in a group than as an individual. As an individual, you're more isolated, more vulnerable, more weak than if you are in a group. And we've actually put quite a lot of emphasis on setting up training days. And we've offered ourselves as, first of all, we trained ourselves. We had a series of trainers training days. And we ended up with about 12 people who were prepared to train other groups. And then we simply announced that any group within a 50-mile radius that wanted training, we would come and train. And we put a lot of emphasis on that, because we do think it's important that people come in small groups, self-sufficient and democratic, but I think very strong. It's a very strong structure.
I've got an emergency case. I've got a child run over in a road accident. Clear the road, clear the road. You must get out of the road. I must get into the base.
Right, look, we've got an ambulance here. Now, personally,
Every second
if you want
counts,
to make a
officer.
protest, that's
Get
fair
moved.
enough. My superior won't agree with this, and we will remove you if you don't go
God's
now.
sake,
As soon
please
as
get out the road, get out the
How do we
road.
know that this is
But
real?
this is...
It's important for us as women to show how we can act peacefully, how much we do object to the nuclear threat, and because we believe that as women we operate very well together. And we wanted a women's section where we could be sure of doing that, where we weren't going to have men coming along and taking over the kind of action that we were doing and making decisions about it, because we trust that we can make decisions cooperatively and collectively, and we don't always trust men. Although we hadn't been in an affinity group before together at Greenham, as a group, we did know each other quite well, and we had been involved in direct action before, all of us in our group, I think.
I'd rather go under, or if we cut a strip next to a support pole and pull a bit and crawl through, but I don't fancy going over, not over the barbed wire.
That means we're going to have to go down with cutters.
Exactly, and has anyone got any?
I haven't got any.
What sort of...
Bolt cutters. I think we're going to have to take some pretty good bolt cutters, because they've been reinforcing the fence all week.
Shall we make a list of the things we've got to either find out or do?
We're going to hold a big public meeting 10 days or so before the trespass, and we've leafleted every single house in the area. I think 12,000 leaflets have gone out. Simply asking local people to come along and hear the issues and decide for themselves.
So I see this action on Sunday, July the 1st, as not really being called by the peace movement. It's being called by the people who put those deadly weapons into our country. And we have to act soon to stop Chilwell from becoming another Greenham. So if you feel that Greenham is being brought to Chilwell, please remember that this is being done not by the peace movement, but by the warmongers who forget about the deadly obscenities of the weapons in which they deal.
But, I mean, again, all we've done is organise a mass trespass. And we've done everything we can to make it as easy as possible for that mass trespass to happen. We can't be held accountable for police or for Tory District Council.
I mean, it's not about personal accountability. It's just like trying to work out obviously the smoothness on with that if possible. And like we now know this information and just trying to sort of act on it.
I think we have felt responsible, and I mean, just the stewards being there, I think is going to be very comforting to a lot of people. The stewards are going to be maybe a dozen people who we think are the most able under pressure, who have experience of NVDA themselves, who are good at dealing with people in difficult situations.
Can you imagine yourself somewhere near where you live, standing outside a house, and somebody tells you in that house there is an unexploded bomb and nobody but a small child? What would you do? Would you write a letter to the Prime Minister saying, we strongly object to unexploded bombs being put in houses where there are small children? Would you stand outside with a placard saying, no unexploded bombs where children are about. I believe that as a human being, you would do neither of those things. You would go into that house and you would rescue that child. And if in doing so, you broke the law of trespass, then the damage that you do is very, very small indeed compared with the great good that you would achieve. And that, I think, is a fair analogy of where I stand on law-breaking where nuclear weapons are concerned. For me, as a Christian, civil disobedience is holy obedience.
We know the base officers very well. It's funny, we have a funny relationship with the base MOD. The Ministry of Defence Police at Chilwell, it's a bit like a bunch of village bobbies. Like, they've been working at this base for the last 30 years, some of them, and they've always stayed at the grade of constable, you know. They're these old, very genial guys, and who suddenly find themselves in the headlines, you know, because of us, basically, coming and giving them all these problems. And like, they all know us on first name terms, and we all know them on first name terms. It's a very sort of funny relationship.
And last October, the middle of October, colleagues of mine from CND were saying, "It's happening at Chilwell, Mick. Nothing's happening at Chilwell. We're going to have part for industry, we're going to have part for it." No. What are the negotiations with America? Don't know anything about negotiations. I'll tell you what, neither the borough nor the county knew anything about negotiations until well into the new year, when we got a bland memorandum from government saying, "Texture, we're like you structure plans, lads, you've had it. We're flogging it off to USAF."
30-odd thousand leaflets nationwide.
There's going to be a big banner on
pieces in
Hall,
campaign and
last week of
insanity.
June.
A lot of posters, a lot of
Council
personal
letters,
letters, a lot of talking. Every single fleet come to your next meeting, all the local media, all the possible news agencies, all the main specifically to get access to the media, so they're mentioning Chilwell again.
In the 1930s, Virginia Woolf was talking about war in one of her books, and Virginia Woolf said, "We can best help you prevent war, not by repeating your words and following your methods, but by finding new words and creating new methods."
In the court case we've just had today, having tried to impose bail conditions on the people appearing in court, the magistrates decided not to allow this. The bail conditions that the police were trying to get were that people should not go within 1 mile of the base. The court case was clearly arranged to be 3 days before the July the 1st demonstration, perhaps as a warning to other people who might be turning up. All the tool hire companies in Nottingham have been approached by the police and told to inform on any local CND people who intend to buy or have bought bolt cutters. We haven't been secretive about this action at all. For the last 4 months we've been thousands and thousands of leaflets and briefing sheets and posters have been distributed throughout the country, and we have said that on this day we are going to have a mass trespass, and I expect they see it as a form of challenge and something they have to respond to. They can't allow it to be announced literally throughout Britain that CND are going to, in a sense, break the law and go into a base without responding to it, and they've responded to it in the most incredible way.
I said to the big guy in blue shirt, I said, "Hello, road blocked, is it?" He sort of didn't look at me, just looked straight ahead and said something like, "The road is blocked, yes."
Coming over there. Zen, come over. You might as well go over here as anywhere. Yeah, I know, but we're not going to get through any other way anyway, so we might as well. There's a hell of a lot of us.
What's been happening?
What's been happening? Well, there are various women going into the base.
How are they getting in?
There's an area up the top near the fields that's fairly easy to get in, but it's quite a long way away from things like the assault pods and stuff like that. But they're climbing in there. This is the easiest area to get in, so they can get through the fence, over the gate, and things like that, which is quite easy. But not that many have gone in yet, and we want to start trying to get women to actually start going in now.
So we're just sort of going along, really. This might be a way in fact. Is that a hole or is that a hole? About nuclear bombs?
Yeah.
Oh, nuclear bombs kill policemen too, do-da, do-da. Nuclear bombs kill policemen too, do-da, do-da, day. Oh, nuclear bombs kill policemen too, do-da, do-da. Nuclear bombs kill policemen too, do-da, do-da, day.
There's a hole just through that house, actually.
Okay, I'm coming out now.
I'm coming out.
Was it nice in there? How was it? Well, you know, it was alright. One base is like any other. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Are you on the other side from us? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Are you on the other side from us? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Are you on the other side from us? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Are you on the other side from us? Which side are you on?
How long are you going to stay in?
5 o'clock. 5. And if they don't arrest us, then well, I don't know. We've got to speak to the group, see how we all feel about it. I mean, the idea was that fine. We go back out the way we came in, we're not arrested, okay? But we've reclaimed this bit of land. We've reclaimed this for the people of Britain for peace. And Wales.
And the Labour Party.
And the Labour Party. We're a Labour Party group.
if you try the main gate, they're probably the best bet.
Have you arrested some people in there? No comment?
Yes.
Do you know why?
What have you been arrested for?
Criminal damage.
Criminal damage.
Pulling
They
the
pulled
fence.
down the fence.
Pulling the fence.
So you're going to take them off and charge you?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If you can get them out.
What's going on?
bit boring at first, wasn't it? A little bit, because we wandered around, we didn't really know what to do, because it was all really easy. I think that was the thing. It was like a big day out, and and it was going to be a trap or something. And then yeah, I couldn't work out what was going on, and then we just kept seeing loads and loads of other people walking around.
The place where we were meant to go in, it was sort of like a cul-de-sac with residential, the houses on either side. And we had quite a bit of hassle getting past the police. There were only 3 of them, but they were quite rough with some of us. We went up to the fence and we sat down and we had our lunch, had a picnic. And there were a lot of police on the inside, weren't there? Well, about 8 or 10, and there were about 3 or 4 immediately on the outside. And it didn't feel like we could really cut the fence down there and get in, because we'd have been arrested straight away, or we didn't see much point.
We all got into the base together, and then we decided to make for the women's section.
And we decided that we'd like to climb onto a roof and occupy the roof of one of the LRD buildings. So we didn't have any hassle getting on. We just walked over to the roof and climbed up onto it.
Yeah, we spray-painted a lot of slogans, didn't we, on the vertical walls, so that they hope people see them, like no to male violence and Nottingham Women for Peace, and there was some women from Brighton Women for Peace, and all sorts of things.
And the band came along and we danced up there, and it got towards about 3:30, and suddenly
the crane arrived.
This hydraulic crane.
We all burst out laughing.
Like, we couldn't believe that they'd sent this crane to get us off the roof. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
And it was so much faffing around there to get it in front of the building, and they got 3 police up onto the roof, and they went through the process of dragging 2 women and putting them into the crane, and then the crane wouldn't work.
Then it broke down. Their feet hanging out.
So it couldn't take off, could it?
No.
So
they had to take the women out again and sort out what was wrong with the crane. And eventually they sorted that out. They got back on, they started taking women off 2 at a time. And by the time there was, I think, 6 of us left, 6 or 7 of us left on the roof, there were a lot more women that had arrived, had heard what was happening and had arrived at the bottom. So they were occupying the crane itself.
Everyone just sat on it and stopped them using it, took the keys and threw them away. And that was really spontaneous and really good.
And we were still up on the roof waiting to be got down. Because we all went limp and they had to drag us in the crane, and then they had to lower us down. And when they got to the bottom, the women wouldn't get out of the crane at the other end, so they had to drag them out. And then all the women at the bottom had formed a circle round it, and like they wouldn't let the crane land because it has to come down onto the ground space. And they were trying not to let it land, so there was that sort of interference. And then as women got off, some of them just came and climbed up on the roof again straight away, and the police weren't quick enough to stop them. And then we were taking this sort of path down to the main entrance to get out, and then a whole load of police came up towards us, and there was about 6 behind us.
There was about 6 from the side, loads at the front, loads at the back.
Oh.
And suddenly we thought, this is not on, and they were channeling us out, and we said it was obvious that they wanted us to move.
So we tried stopping, we tried just standing there.
And then they got quite sort of heavy, saying you will get out the base sort of thing. So we all sat down.
There were no arrests throughout the day, but it was a really good action.
Gentle, angry women, and we're singing for our lives. We are gentle, angry women, and we're singing for our lives. We are anti-nuclear women, and we're singing for our lives. We are anti-nuclear women, and we're singing for our lives. We are straight together, and we're singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we're singing for our lives. We are young and old
singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we're singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colours, and we're singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colours, and we're singing, singing for our lives.
Like we were asked to organise people to pull the fence down, so we got the van to go that way, and they all came, we all started pulling, and it was wonderful. And we're just having a wonderful time.
We've occupied the dustbin cupboard as well.
Yeah, we occupied the dustbin cupboard and wrote on the yellow box.
There's no end to what we've done.
We're supposed to be on the information stall, but we couldn't resist
Yeah,
it.
sorry, we're not here.
On Saturday night, I think all we all felt was we've won now, as long as it remains non-violent. That we've done everything. It's a success as long as it remains non-violent, even if no one gets in. So the fact that it remained non-violent and people did get in made it everything we could have dreamed of. When we actually did get, what, maybe 1,200 people onto that base, that was really fantastic. The Derby Evening Telegraph actually said correctly that over 1,000 people have trespassed. Most other press have used the MOD figure of 300, which is nonsense. You know, there were at any one point you maybe have 300-400 people actually running on. When you heard it over the radio, and it was it Guy?
He was so excited.
Guy was the steward at the co-op.
And
he was going, and the fence is coming down! Oh my God, the whole fence is coming down! There's hundreds of people running in! Like in the background, there's this clapping and cheering, and all you've got it on the radio, you know. Oh, it was really beautiful, you know.
I think the reason why people pulled down the fences was obviously not just to gain access, because it was more than that. It was more a kind of symbol of what people were opposing.
But if they hadn't have put that barbed wire up, people would have done what we'd said on our briefing sheet, which is all you have to do is lift it up and it comes away and you just crawl in and you play rounders for 5 hours, you know. But once that wire went up, then that became a challenge, if you like. It was like them throwing down the gauntlet. And people partly physically had to tear it down just to get in, but also partly, like Jerry says, it's like us saying, you can put up all the barbed wire in the world, but we're still going to tear it down.
I think what worried us the night before was not only how the police might sort of deal with trespassers, I think, but also this fact of what they told local shops and local residents. The police were standing with them and basically were saying to protesters, if you go near these people's gardens, then they've got every right to use whatever force is necessary to get rid of you. And the thing is, I presume that they had this idea there was going to be incredible violence or whatever because of what they'd been told by the police.
I actually think that they had plenty of civilian police, plenty of MOD police. And I know they've used the army before at Greenham and everything, but I think in this case, when it's in Nottinghamshire, you know, where there's thousands of coppers, where they're flying them in from Hampshire and things like that, why use the army? You know, young kids who used to, like, was trained to fight and kill, who maybe have been keyed up to dealing with situations in Belfast and Derry rather than non-violent direct action. I think that they're actually planning to spend the next 5 or 10 years using the troops far, far more against the peace movement, against the trade union movement, against the left generally. And this was just like, you know, training session 1, if you like. 4 days before the mass trespass, we got a leak that 1,000 civilian jobs, the remaining jobs at Chilwell Depot, were going to go. And we released it to the press here. The next day, it was announced by the MOD that yes, 1,000 jobs were going to go at Chilwell. Now, why announce that 3 days before the trespass? Because that was followed on, that announcement was followed by a call from Nottingham Trades Council to every single trade unionist in Nottingham and the East Midlands to come and join the trespass.
I didn't enjoy the day, but I didn't organise it or help organise to enjoy it. Although I hoped I would enjoy it.
Oh, you martyred.
Personally, I felt very good about the day, but on a personal level, I suppose the last 2 months, 3 months, not only has been very, very tiring, but I would say that my sort of personal life or home life has basically taken a Burton. Gone for a Burton, rather.
Gone for Harris.
Gone for Harris. And I think that's maybe that is something to do with that it was either the sort of 3 of us took on too much responsibility, or maybe had to, I don't know.
Looking back over it, I think that we've done everything right. I don't say that like in a boastful way, but that we did it well, we did it right. And recently I've never felt so alive and so happy as I have like these last few weeks.
I think one thing that I feel, and I think you were saying as well, in retrospect after the sort of the trespass, is that what has happened on Sunday and the campaign that we set up could be and should be happening all over the country. And there's nothing special about the people who organised and sort of worked on the campaign in Nottingham. And it could be happening in any city, at every base. I mean, not only, you know, I mean, you've got 135 American bases.
And Chilwell's maybe the least important.
This is a world of fences. They fence the common land like they fenced in your heart. This is a world of fences, of boundaries and lies to keep us apart, to keep us from learning and growing together, to keep us from growing stronger. Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready? 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 Breaking down the fences, hear our voices, calling round the fences, sharing our lives and our dreams. They put up a fence and we stay behind it. A fence of bad war or of fear or of hate, to keep us from learning and growing together, to keep us from growing stronger, growing stronger. Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready? Fence breaking, trust making, are you ready?